You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 20th of December. Parliament winter session comes to an amid protests by BJP and India bloc. Pakistan's missile program is emerging threat, says top US official. And Nepal set to miss 2026 malaria elimination goal as cases rise. And now for all the details. The last day of the Indian Parliament's winter session witnessed intense protest on Friday as India bloc members marched from Vijay Chowk to the Parliament, demanding Union Home Minister Amit Shah's resignation and apology for his comments on Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Both the houses were adjourned amidst protest. This came a day after an altercation where BJP and Congress MPs clashed at the entrance of the new Parliament building. FIR has also been registered against leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi in connection with the scuffle in which two BJP MPs were also injured. The Congress on Friday, however, claimed that the FIR was nothing but a divisionary tactic.
I'm very disappointed, MP. Most of us are disappointed. I think that there are a lot of very major issues we discuss in our country, including, of course, unemployment, price rise, Manipur. So many crises affected our people. The Sambhal violence had broken out just as Parliament was starting. A lot of issues. And sadly, instead, most of this time has been wasted in disruption. For many of us, the only constructive work was done in the parliamentary committees. But the main parliament did not fulfill its duty to the nation. And I think we've let the people of India down.
Meanwhile, just before the upper house was adjourned, the Rajya Sabha adopted the motion to form Joint Parliamentary Committee for two bills on one nation, one election. The committee will have 27 members from the lower house and 12 from the upper house. It will be tasked to submit a report to the Lok Sabha in the next session of the Parliament. Opposition members have opposed the amendments and have argued that the proposed change could disproportionately benefit the ruling party, giving it undue influence over the electoral process in states and undermine the autonomy of regional parties. Moving on. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif emphasized the urgent need for a ceasefire in Gaza, linking it to global peace and prosperity as he spoke during the 21st session of the D8 summit hosted by Egypt on Thursday. The D8 grouping consists of a group of 8 major Muslim developing countries, including Bangladesh, Egypt, Indonesia, Iran, Malaysia, Nigeria, Pakistan and Turkey. Sharif said it's equally important to discuss the situation in Gaza, the peace in Lebanon and potential threat to Israel's carnage in this area and the world over. He also highlighted Pakistan's focus on investing in youth and supporting small and medium enterprises as key drivers of socio-economic development.
Ceasefire in Gaza is so important that without that, peace and prosperity and progress, not only in the region, but globally, will not be possible.
Moving on. A senior White House official on Thursday said nuclear-armed Pakistan is developing long-range ballistic missile capabilities that eventually could allow it to strike targets well beyond South Asia, making it an emerging threat to the United States. Speaking to the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, Deputy National Security Advisor John Finer said Pakistan has pursued increasingly sophisticated missile technology from long-range ballistic missile systems to equipment that would enable the testing of significantly larger rocket motors. He added, it's hard for the US to see Pakistan's action as anything other than emerging threat to the country. His speech came a day after Washington announced a new round of sanctions related to Pakistan's ballistic missile development program, including for the first time against the state-run defense agency that oversees the program. Islamabad cast its nuclear weapons and ballistic missile programs as deterrents against Indian aggression and says they are intended to maintain regional stability. And days after Bangladesh observed the Victory Day celebration of 1971 war against Pakistan, Bangladesh Interim Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus has urged Islamabad to settle the issues of 1971 to help in moving forward in bilateral relationships. The remarks from Yunus came during his bilateral meeting with Pakistan's PM Shehbaz Sharif on the sidelines of the D8 summit. The issues have kept coming again and again. Let's settle those issues for us to move forward, he was quoted as saying by Bangladesh media outlet Pratham Elo. Sharif said while the tripartite agreement between Bangladesh, Pakistan and India signed in 1974 had settled things, Islamabad will be happy to look at any outstanding issues. Once part of Pakistan, the Liberation War in 1971 marked the separation of East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, from Pakistan, leading to the creation of an independent country. The relations between the two countries has largely remained lukewarm over past grievances. Moving on. Nepal's health authorities are mulling postponing the malaria elimination target by 2030, aligned with the World Health Organization's target, and it has become impossible to declare the country malaria-free by the 2026 deadline, reports suggest. The Kathmandu Post cited a top health official saying that isolated indigenous cases have become a major challenge in containing the spread. Single indigenous cases of infection have been reported from several places. We have been struggling to trace the source of infection, the official added. Health authorities say that more than 20 cases of local transmission or indigenous cases were confirmed in 2024, while the country recorded nearly 1,000 imported cases. Officials have cited open borders, budget cuts in the health sector, and mosquitoes moving to higher altitudes due to climate change have hindered Nepal's malaria elimination goal. And 2 decades after the devastating 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, survivors are rebuilding their lives. New infrastructure and safety measures have transformed the region, but the painful memories of lost loved ones continue to haunt them. A report.
The devastating Indian Ocean tsunami, triggered by a 9.1 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Indonesia's Aceh province on December 26, 2004, claimed more than 230,000 lives across Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, Thailand, and 9 other countries. 20 years after the catastrophic tsunami killed her husband and son, 54-year-old Gandha, who lives in Nagapattinam in southern India, still carries the weight of that tragic day. When I hear the word tsunami, my whole body shivers at the thought of my husband and child, she said. At a stone's throw from where Gandha resides now is a sea wall, which now stands as a bulwark against high tides.
சுனாமின்னு சொன்னாலே சொரசொரப்பா இருக்குது அப்படியே உடம்பெல்லாம் நடுக்குது ஒரே கவலையாகுது அது அந்த ஞாபகம் வந்தாலே ரொம்ப இதாகுது அப்படியே மனசுக்கு.
Following the 2004 disaster, millions of dollars have been invested in establishing a network of seismic and tsunami information centers, installing sea and coastal instruments, and constructing warning towers along the coastline. Authorities also moved homes further inland and created shelter plantations in coastal towns like Nagapattinam, planting huge plots of trees and mangroves near shorelines to protect the communities and mitigate the impact of natural disasters.
இப்போ தான் சார் அந்த வாக்கி-டாக்கியில் வந்து கரிய உள்ளதெல்லாம் சொன்னாங்கன்னா கடல் மேலே நாங்கள் கேட்டுக்குவோம். வாக்கி-டாக்கியில் வச்சு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அதனால் வந்து அதில் வந்து நாங்கள் காற்று கடலாக இருந்தாலும் பார்த்துக்கிட்டு உடையந்துருது. ஏன்னு கேட்டால் உயிருக்கு சேதமாகும், போட்டுக்கு சேதமாகும். 1,70,000.
Gandha now lives in a house built by the Indian conglomerate Tata, a concrete structure that stands in stark contrast to her previous home that was a hut made from coconut leaves and other things. Although life has moved on for many who survived the disaster, Gandha says her grief still lingers.
That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week.